time it is. Marvin Devine, Huber, Axel, and you know how we do. Yeah, I got the juice. Whip game cool, make them look like cool. Always play cool, that's the biggest rule. Forget what they doing, keep on doing.
Hey, happy Monday, everyone. And also, I got to give a shout to it being the first day of Black History Month. So prayerfully, everyone is just going to really get into their colors and, enjoy that this month. We have definitely made some strides in history. Praise the Lord. So I am Audrey Bella Langston, your hostess with the mostest, and welcome to Sisters Against Kidney Disease. I want to give a big thanks to my faithful audience, okay? And I also want to thank my new guests that may be cheering in here with us for the first time tonight. Definitely want to give a shout out to my urban media family, okay? And everyone who's out here doing some great things on their shows. Give a shout out to my producer, Jared Brown. And I just want to definitely shout out the birthdays, everyone whose birthday is today. Hey, you made it another year. Praise the Lord, right? So I really want to impress upon you guys to do me a favor and smash that like and share button so we can help get this word out here to everybody. I mean, smash it hard, okay? That's what I want you to do. And for those who are not Facebookers, we also are live on YouTube. So please keep that in mind for anybody that may say, oh, sorry, I can't watch it. I don't have Facebook, which, believe it or not, some people don't. Tell them that's okay, because you can watch it on YouTube. Hallelujah. So anyway, I just want to tell you guys that I have a great show for you tonight. Have you guys ever met anyone or known anyone who is super fit, physically fit, okay? Very athletic, and then suddenly they become stricken with a life-threatening illness. Now, we all have heard of many celebrities, so to speak, that this has happened to. For one, Alonzo Mourning. He basketball player, one of the legends, all of a sudden at one of the games, got sick, passed out. What happened? They found out he had kidney disease. He had to have an emergency kidney transplant. And again, guys, this just goes to show how this illness is silent. It's another silent killer, like hypertension. So we got to stay on this. And then, of course, our late and great Walter Payton, who suddenly became ill and needed a liver transplant. So these stories are out here. Well, my guest tonight is Anthony Simpkins. Anthony is 52 years of age, and he resides in Bartlett, Illinois. Cold, cold, cold. My home front, Chicago, cold up there. His soulmate is Rita, and who also is into bodybuilding. She looks fabulous, might I add. And they have two wonderful children. Now, on May 5th of 2015, Anthony's life changed forever when he was sitting still in his vehicle, and he was rear-ended, guys, by a kid who was texting, and he was doing 50 miles an hour and slammed into the back of Anthony, okay? And Anthony told me that he felt like he had been hit by an 18-wheeler. Now, I could totally picture that. Having been a cop, I have been on the scenes of some terrible accidents, and that is major, major impact. So part of the deal with his injury was that he tore his shoulder and, of course, had to have an operation. Of course, he was probably in the hospital. And, of course, what happens? That's when you get those major blood workups. And when that was done, it was discovered that his kidney values were literally off the charts. And if I'm not mistaken, it was showing at 9,000 for values that should have been no more than 150. Wow. So this, of course, was shocking to him. And being that he was always the epitome of health, competitive all his life, football player, baseball, soccer, martial arts, bodybuilder, that's just the tip of the iceberg with what he's done. I'm going to bring Anthony out here and let him tell more about his amazing story. So please welcome to this stage, Sisters Against Kidney Disease, my guest, Anthony Simpkins. Hi, welcome, Anthony.
Thank you, Belle. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for agreeing to come and talk to everyone and share in your amazing testimony, which just totally, of course, blew my mind when you sent me that detailed email that, I asked you just to tell. I had no idea your bio was going to be that extensive. It was like literally reading a miniature book. And so that's where I want to start. I kind of told everyone a little bit about you, but I would like for you to kind of start at the beginning again of how you came to find out that you were diagnosed with kidney disease and what that was and what it, how it affected you.
So I was coming home from work one day, and it was May 5th, 2015. And a kid had rear-ended me while I was stopped doing about 50. I tore my shoulder, and obviously I had to have my shoulder repaired. So when I had the blood work done in order to get the surgery, the doctors noticed that my values were just ridiculous. Everything was just off the charts, my enzymes, my protein, everything. So they were able to still do the surgery, but I had to go see a nephrologist right away. So I saw a nephrologist. They did the ultrasounds, everything came out perfectly fine. Everything was, my kidneys were perfect size. All the tests, CT scans, MRI, everything was fine. And then finally on August of, I think it was August 17th, they did a biopsy. And sure enough, that's when they found out that I was diagnosed with FSGS.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
That was,
And so for those, well, there are a lot of the audience. You guys have heard that before, because for one thing, that is also the disease I have, which is actually called focal segmental glomerulosclerosis, and you can see why they short term it FSGS. It's very
I
long.
still can't pronounce it to this day.
You'll learn, you'll get it. It took a while for me, but it is the scarring of the glomeruli, and it's very serious. And so when you were diagnosed with that, of course, Anthony, I know you were like, what the heck is that? What does this mean? How will this affect me? So tell us a little bit about, that whole thing and how it was explained to you.
So they explained it the same way that you just did. However, they did not say, I did not know anything about it whatsoever. The doctors tried to explain to me what it was, but they didn't make it sound like it was that bad at first. So when they did more testing, then that's when I realized I'm in for something. And the doctor said, basically, you could be dead if you didn't get into the accident, because it's a silent killer. So they started putting me on all these medications and stuff like that. And I would say probably in about 3 months is when everything just started deteriorating in my body. I was put on 80 milligrams of prednisone each day.
Wow.
And I did that for over a year. So they needed to get control of it as bad as possible, or I'm sorry, excuse me, as fast as possible. So it was like playing catch up, because I was, like you said, I was at 8,600, and I was supposed to be at 150. So they hit me with three ways: blood pressure medicine, prednisone, and I can't think of the other one. And all these drugs just started just hitting me hard. It gave me about, if I'm not mistaken, about 46 side effects, and a lot of them are major. So soon as that shoulder got repaired, then I started getting into other surgeries back and forth. I mean, it was just back to back. So this went on for 4 years. So I've been battling, because it took me almost a year just to get off, not even get off the prednisone, but to come down the prednisone. And now I'm also adrenal insufficient. So that means I got to stay on 20 milligrams of prednisone every day now, because it destroyed my glands.
And so, excuse me, I'm sorry about that. And so so there, of course, are stages to kidney disease. And were you told at what stage you were at? Because I would think that if everything was explained to me in great detail, you know what I mean? This is where you are now. You're at stage 3. And, when you get to stage 4, you're probably looking at dialysis, which that did eventually happen. So that's what I'm trying. Where were your kidneys, and what did they tell you in relation to that?
Well, they told me that I was stage 3, and I was actually a high stage. So I was borderline to be in stage 2, stage 3. But during the whole process, I got all the way down to 3B, which is closer to 4. And then I started coming back up. EGFR started coming back up to about, I think it's at 41 right now. So that's where I'm maintaining right now. So I've been holding remission for 2 years now.
That's good. That's a good thing. Now I'm going to share with the audience, because you, as you stated a few minutes ago, unfortunately, the prednisone, and I don't know if it was exclusively just prednisone, or even other things that you may have been taking caused your demise to some of these things that you shared with me. And I'm just going to share with the audience. Wow, and you've got about 20 listed, or at least 19 listed on here that you succumb to because of the use of your medications. So of course, one popular one we all tend to get during that time is edema, but you also stated that you came down with Cushing syndrome. You lost your vision, you lost your hair growth. You had atopic eczema, you had 2 heart attacks, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoporosis, avascular necrosis, diabetes, spinal stenosis, foraminal stenosis, 3 herniated discs in the lumbar region, and you said you would tear ligaments in your hand from bumping into stuff, and tear your shoulder from the I think that's a typo where you weren't able to use your shoulder normally. And this was a kicker right here. You said that there were broken blood vessels in your nose, which would just spray blood out while you were just literally doing nothing. You know?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot, Anthony.
I go big.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah,
So,
it was tough. And I also had chondromalacia. I had my knees done. I have cadavers in my shoulder. So, and I got the neuropathy. But as soon as I started coming off the prednisone, I got my vision back. I'm no longer diabetic. However, I still have the atopic eczema, and I'm still dealing with neuropathy and chronic pain. And now I have the fibromyalgia now, and it's just, it's just the way it is. But when I got down from 80 down to 40, I felt like a whole new person. And then from 80 to 20, it was like I wasn't even on anything anymore. So that's what felt promising in a way.
So tell us about your athletic history a little bit, because I definitely believe that it's quite possible that one of the reasons you may be doing so well, despite all of those things that happened, that, which was a result of the medications, you may have done so well with this so far because you were so physically fit. That makes a definite advantage. That gives everyone an advantage if they should come down with the illness, fitness, and that's why doctors are always hammering that in on people to lose weight, but this was a lifestyle for you. So tell us a little bit about that.
So I grew up playing football and baseball. I played a little bit of soccer, and then I did some BMX racing, some freestyling. I rode dirt bikes. Then I got into martial arts, did that for about 15 years. Then I got into weightlifting. A couple guys came over and said that you're pretty strong for your size. And they said, you want to be a power lifter? I was like, I don't know what that is. They took me under their wing and I became a power lifter. And a lot of the stuff that I have, like the spinal and the foraminal stenosis, what had happened, the doctor said that opened up a can of worms, the herniated discs. I mean, I didn't feel it working out or nothing like that. But once the prednisone made everything, the inflammation go down, then once I came back off, then it just opened up a can of worms for everything. So part of the athleticism was causing a couple of those things. So now with the working out stuff, all the doctors have said that since you're physically fit, there's nobody that was an average guy that could take all these surgeries and take or go with you have gone through. Of course, when you're by yourself, you don't know that you think that's just them saying that because that's what they tell everybody. But
Mhm.
once I started learning more, it was like, yes, my physical attributes actually did have a lot to do with saving me on all these. And my recovery is much faster, even though it wasn't fast. My recovery was faster because of my athleticism. So the sports and everything, yeah, I do it all over again, and it saved me. It really did.
Mhm. Yeah. And you even, I believe you have some photos there, Anthony, that you can maybe share with y'all, because you're, again, yeah, like I used your advertisement photo was what that was at your peak of your bodybuilding level, the one we used for the advertisement.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
I was actually training for the Masters, and
Okay.
I never made it to the stage because I got scared to go on stage.
Oh,
So,
you're kidding.
yeah,
Okay.
so I was getting close. I was I was getting closer and closer. But yes, that one was basically what probably my best at my largest size. So
Mhm.
here I was. Let's see. So right there is
Mhm.
that's actually my photo for everything because I like
Mhm.
that was a photo right there. There's a picture of the back.
Oh yeah.
Not dieting yet, so
Mhm.
after that picture, and then and right there, and then this gives you an idea of the size of my leg at the
Oh
time.
my. Wow.
So
Wow.
those, yeah, I missed that. All my clothes are large size, and now nothing fits.
So
Uh,
so are you still able to, I mean, what is it now that you were able to do back then, even though you're in a remission state, and you said your prednisone has been significantly lowered, correct, to what it was?
yeah.
What is it? I'm assuming because of your lumbar issues and things like that, you're not able to do your powerlifting and things. So what is it that you can still do and you cannot still do that you used to do?
Well, really, I can't do anything anymore.
Oh.
Because I have both hips replaced, the knees were worked on, and my shoulders, and I have steroid myopathy. And what's happening is my body is deteriorating the muscle. I have high creatinine kinase, I think it's called,
Mhm.
and it's just taking all the muscle cells and just wasting them. So I tried to run the other day, and it's just impossible. I can't run at all. So it comes down to where I really just can't do anything. Now, when I go to the gym, I do a lot of therapy exercises because I have to retrain mind to muscle. I can't flex and make a bicep like you would do if you were to show like your nephew or something and say, "Hey, feel this." I can't make that hard uh,
Mhm.
flex no more. So when I go to the gym, I work out with light weights, and I'm trying to get back. And I got to be safe too because I can re-tear and make more damage to what I already have. So
Mhm.
it's
Mhm.
go to the gym, do light stuff, and try and regroup all my muscles to ignite when they're supposed to ignite. And my therapists and everything have been wonderful. They've been working on me for years, so
Mhm.
they help
Mhm.
all the time. And like
Mhm.
you said, the lumbar, the limits. I can't shovel snow, so I got to have Rita do it. So,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
she doesn't mind. She doesn't. It
She
just
looks
looks
very
bad.
fit
The
too, as
neighbors, the
well.
neighbors look around and say, "Why is she doing it? And why aren't you doing it, guy?" You know.
Yeah, yeah. So then because you are so limited, and I'm assuming that, or I think I shouldn't say assuming, but I think you told me you're not currently working because of what's going on with you. Um, I'm not sure what you did, what your occupation was prior to your diagnosis. But what's kind of like an average day like for you at this point?
Right now, today,
Correct.
uh, well, uh, I can't say that I don't go to work, but I try to do whatever it is that I can do.
Mhm.
An average day is actually making appointments with my doctors and physical therapy. It's just nonstop. It's one doctor after another after another. I got 23 doctors. So I got to go through this whole routine every year. And now I have a couple complications that are happening right now where I wake up and I can't move my legs.
Mm.
Oh, they're trying to figure out what's going on with that right now. So I have to do all these tests and, it's just nonstop, but you just got to keep going. I mean, I made it this far. Why am I going to stop?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was going to ask you also if a situation like this, that happened, um, how did it affect you spiritually, as far as what I don't know what your beliefs are, not that I'm trying to literally get all into that, but I know a lot of people will say that, well, I wasn't really I didn't have a relationship with God or whatever prior to that, and this just they'll say it just opened my eyes to to just totally knowing who my source is, my higher power. So did anything like that happen with you?
Oh yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it seems like everyone prays when they have issues or problems and stuff like that, and they don't do it when on a regular basis. And unfortunately, that was me.
Yeah.
Yes, I definitely prayed every day because I was scared,
Yeah.
and every time I would move a couple steps up, I get pushed down 5, and it was so exhausting mentally that you know I, you don't know what to do. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it because it's just a vicious circle, just nonstop. You know, it was one thing after another after another. It messes with your mind, and you just pray to God that you come out okay.
Right.
Not the greatest, but hey, and I think that helped me in a way where I actually accepted myself more now as the way I am today than trying so hard to be to look something. Now it's like, I just want to be able to walk in, hang out and have some fun, play bags with my brothers and stuff.
Mhm.
So yeah, it did. That's unfortunately that's when I started.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think
So
that
just
obviously because I'm here because
right.
you can handle and uh, he's got the path. There's a reason why I'm here today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And I was going to ask too, there is a lot of, I mean, I've known many bodybuilders, and guys that are, that in that type of excellent shape. And I've always had a respect for that industry based on the fact of the discipline and the diligence that it takes to get your body in like that perfect sculpting. However, quite a few of the guys I have known as well, that always seemed like an industry too that creates a lot of vanity, and pride, because the body is so perfect and everybody's stare, you know what I mean? Things like that. And I'm not saying that's you, but what I would like to ask is, because there's a great possibility that you may not be able to get that same body back, that body that you had before, and that is a lifestyle for people. Again, like I said, like that, it's like working out can be an addiction. I know when I was in my heyday of it, it is very addictive, and you got to have it. You want it. It becomes an obsession. Do you think that will be a problem for you? Like, and have you ever during this point in time, from the time of diagnosis, until now, ever felt like, get just, what I just give up to, you just throw the hands up.
Yeah, I've done that a lot. When I go to the gym and it's not you're used to lifting this amount of weight, and then here you can't even lift what the guy that's 85 doing next to you. He's out benching you, and it's like, oh my God, why am I even here? And then everyone comes up to you like, hey, you're a pretty big guy. You're a pretty big guy. And here they am doing 5-pound dumbbells. And that's all I could lift in the shoulders because of what's going on. So, some people thought I was actually making fun of them, because they're like, why is this guy coming over here doing shoulders with 5-pound dumbbell? Well, I don't go and share anything, but, I met a few people that way where they said, I thought you were actually making fun of me. I was like, nah, it's, so when I go to the gym, yes, there's times that I just come home and I'm like, I don't want to go. I don't even want to be there. So that's where Rita comes in. She says, hey, let's go. And we go. Do I slack? Yes. But now I get more into a groove now because she pushes me. And then once I get into that groove and we stay on track, then it's good. Until hopefully nothing else happens. But if something does, then I end up falling back down, and then I got to get back up and start all over again. So, I mean, I must have done it over a dozen times easily where I gave up on the working out, but then I end up right back there because I just can't leave it alone. I love it. I love the gym.
Yeah.
The people that are there, everyone's, when you're in that area and then people ask you for advice and stuff like that. I love helping people out. Rita does like it too. It's just that then she ends up being there for an hour and a half extra because I end up trying to train somebody or something, but I just love it. So, and I hope that part of me helping people with the disease is to help them with some exercises and so forth to get them back in shape so they can also fight an easier battle.
That's good. Yeah, and it's really awesome that you have Rita as that support base and how she encourages you and lifts you up, because oftentimes too, when you deal with the type of with this type of disease, it also comes along with depression, anxiety. Those meds, man, they have so many side effects that you just all over the place sometimes, and some worse than others. And I've always heard that about prednisone. I personally never had to take it. In fact, I refused it when I was diagnosed because I had heard so many bad things about it. At the time, I didn't know if refusing that was going to be of detriment, because they were really encouraging it. Well, it's your choice, but this can possibly slow it down. And I said, nah, I'm going to pass. Tell me what I can do in lieu of that. Now, I wouldn't tell people to do everybody has to make their own choice. You know what I mean? But just the fact that she's urging you to do it, and you're getting in there and you're trying, is good. And then also what you just said in relation to maybe this is a shift in your life. Well, okay, you're not at the forefront of that as the builder, but the encourager for other people who really need that, people who don't have that discipline to go to the gym and get your body like that. And that also comes along with good eating habits and your level of vitamins. And I'm sure that you had to do that as well. So maybe now, the good Lord is shifting you into instructor mode, to help those who may need the help. I mean, we never know. So in fact, tell us a little bit about your organization. I just thought about that. That led right into it, which is great. Fighting FSGS, correct?
Yes. So I just literally started doing research on how to start it and so forth. I am looking as on a platform on a blog to help people understand that not to give up and to keep going and use exercising as part of your medicine. Also dieting could reverse a lot of things as well. Like you mentioned with the antidepressants and corticosteroids and so forth. Yes, I was bouncing all over the place, and now I have to take certain vitamins and so forth. But um, it's also so I can learn more, and then
Mhm.
also people can come in and then know that they're not alone, and then hopefully I can do some short videos where I can help them exercise and become stronger when they have problems like I did that I learned from my therapist and my doctors on what's the correct exercise to do. Because when you look up information for kidney disease, chronic kidney disease or PKD, there's really nothing there for any exercises or anything to help people that come out of transplant or people that come after a vascular necrosis where I have both my hips replaced. Um, Even though I can't squat, but there's other exercises that you can do to help, your hips be stronger, walk stronger, uh, so you be, make your battle a little bit easier. Is
Mhm.
the way I'm thinking. And that's what I'm trying to do is develop some type of platform for that.
Mhm.
So, under,
Yeah.
hopefully with my experience and history with the medicines that I took, I can also guide people with also, hey, you know what? Maybe the prednisone isn't really a good idea. You could ask for the cyclosporine, I think it is, or cyclosporine.
Mhm. Cyclosporin. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the other
Mhm.
anti-organ drug, which they're going to put me on if I come out of remission because the prednisone was just too bad. It was
Mhm.
it was too late to change,
Mhm.
and then so maybe I can educate some of those people as well. And the other thing too is when I had to do a lot of research on all these doctors because they were. I can't go to a regular nephrologist that just opens up the book and says, "Okay, you're 160 pounds. This is what your numbers are supposed to be." I'm I got a lot of muscle mass on me, so my numbers are going to be different. So I needed somebody that was. I picked the oldest nephrologist because I'm like he had to come across some athletic people, and sure enough, he did. And he didn't go by the book. He's like, if you can get your number down to 1,000, you're in remission, and your creatinine is going to be higher because your muscle, you're constantly building muscle and stuff. There's no, anyone else, they would have hit me with harder drugs probably and that
Mhm.
would do even more damage. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
maybe something like that could help people in my organization. And I don't know, maybe it could go even further, like the stuff that you've done. Where you go and you speak, and you can help people and give them hope and say, hey,
Mhm.
you know what, this is not that bad. I mean, everyone has it. There's a lot of people out there. You're not alone. So you know,
Right.
mentally and physically. So let's
Mhm. Mhm.
do it together. And I learned so much just by joining Instagram, talking to people like I met you.
Mhm.
I'm still learning. And
Mhm.
I want to pass that on to other people that are not educated as well, or people that don't understand because it's a lost disease. Nobody
Yeah.
nobody knows about it. And people come up to me, they're like, man, you look great. And it's like, if I could really tell them, hey, you know what, you don't know how I feel. Because people that have internal diseases, they all think everyone's healthy. They don't realize the pain and everybody's going through.
Yeah.
I'm in pain all day and all night, but I don't go around and advertise and go, hey, you don't feel so.
Right. Right.
It's life. You know what? And like I said, I always say this: God gives you what you can handle, and
That's right.
obviously I can handle it. That's why He gave it because I didn't understand why I even got it. I'm like, why me? And that's where
Mhm.
the depression kicked in because the physical part was the body, and then the mental part was why did He pick me? Why am I
Mhm.
the only one? This is not a hereditary disease that's coming from my parents. It's a disease that I just got and it comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
People don't understand that, and like you said, it's a silent killer. And just like the urine, that your urine's frothy throughout the day, that's protein.
Yep.
You need to go to the doctor. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
when my
Yeah.
blood's flowing over with suds, I'm like,
Yep.
well, I thought it was. You don't think that because it's a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. It's only supposed to be in the morning when your organs are healing, and then throughout the day, if it's doing the same thing it did in the morning, you got some kidney issues going on. You need to go get checked right away.
Something's going on. Yeah. So that's a definite good point that Anthony just made. Everyone, watch your urine, how it looks. If it's very foamy, which is the way I always described it, that's not good. So you might want to get that checked out, and not wait on it, because and again, it's critical to get a physical every year, and you have to ask. You make sure you ask. You tell them, because the doctors aren't just going to make the assumption. Oh, let me see. Let's check your renal panel, unless you have some issues where they're seeing something possibly. And that's when, so you have to tell them, hey, I want a renal panel, and then you just never know what may come up, and hopefully it'll be fine. But it's better to catch something and, nip it right away and get control of it. And like you also said, Anthony, which is so true, as just society as a whole, I believe, has a propensity to want to put a face on sickness. And that is, if you're sick, they expect you to look like it. No, I didn't look sick. As you said, people on the police department didn't know I was sick until it came out in the newspaper, and the newspaper did an article on me, and they were like, because I didn't look like it. But it doesn't mean that you don't have things going on in your body. Just like I say too, when you may look great on the outside as an older person, but your organs are still aging. You can't stop that process. All you can do is do your best to stay in shape. And that's why we have all these people, so many in great shape, and boom, next thing you know, they're, unfortunately, if they don't survive whatever their issue was, they're dropping dead from sudden arterial embolisms, and just all these things we never, like, what? Everybody thinks these things don't happen till you get old, and it's just not the case. And so and nobody ever knows how you feel or how you could possibly feel unless they've taken the time to really get to know you, and find out, hey, how are you, and it's not looking for sympathy. Nobody wants that. I know you didn't want it. I didn't want it. That's why I didn't bring it out at first. I wanted to keep my life as normal as possible, as much normalcy as possible, and that's what I did, because I knew that would be better for me. But is there anything that, if you could change, from back then, be it about, your lifestyle or, just whatever, is there anything, if you could change, did you ever think about that? Because I know I thought about, what could I have changed about my life that maybe I wouldn't have gotten to that point, So do you know what I mean? Did you ever think about that?
Yeah, it's a good question, because I never went to the doctor because I was never sick. So why go to the doctor when you're not sick?
Mm-hmm.
And if I would have gotten a physical every year, just gone and did an annual physical, I probably would have caught this way sooner. And I wouldn't have had to go through as much as I did, just knowing something started right in the beginning. Here, I could have been going through this for years, and it could have been 5 years prior. It could have been 2 years. It could have been a year. We don't know. But I do know that if I would have been going to the doctor on a regular basis, just for a checkup, physical, get blood work and so forth, regular CBCs and stuff, I would have caught this earlier, possibly, and I probably would have saved. It probably would have reduced half of the stuff that I've been through. I would have. That's what I think. So if I would have, that's what I would change. And the other thing too, back onto what we were just discussing, when the people come up to you and they say, "Hey, you look great," that's a mental problem too, because you're like, okay, why everyone say I feels good, but why can't I feel the way I look
Mm.
inside?
Wow.
Why has it got to be like this? So
Mhm.
that puts a lot of little mental depression on you too, mentality
Right.
on you as well. So sometimes I go back and I wish that I didn't have a physique like I did, because
Mm.
then I wouldn't be as hard on me now, you know, looking the way that I look. You know what I mean? Because uh, I can't. I don't want to go in and explain to people. Oh well, this is why. This is what happened.
Mm.
I just want to go and have fun, go work out and stuff like that. But people are
Yeah.
like, some people are like, oh, you lost some size or this or that.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, this is why. So
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. So Joy said, Anthony, you may no longer have your physical strength, but in you, I see that this turmoil has not weakened your hope, faith, and peace. Oh, that's really sweet. God bless you. Yeah, that's so
it was
true.
very
I
sweet.
agree. And Michelle said, write your plans in pencil and hand God the pen. I like that. Yeah. So yeah, I agree. I just like the fact that of what you shared about the prospects of turning into, instead of the physical Anthony, the star, the star of the show, as far as your body being the star, the center of attention, to we God operates in all types of ways. And again, it might be a shift in your life, because I'll tell you, it's a blessing that you're in remission. I went into remission as well for probably, wow, I was diagnosed in 93, and mine did not get progressively worse to facing dialysis until and needing a transplant until about maybe like almost 2000, maybe about 2000, you know. And so I continued to work, in my career as an officer. I mean, I had a very busy lifestyle, and so that I consider myself blessed even to have stretched that I made some lifestyle changes. I was at the epitome of health anyway, coming out of the police academy. Probably I would always say the most
oh, I bet.
athletic in my life, and so that was a plus, because like I said, that does help when you're in shape. It really does. I have no doubt about that. And then I think my refusal of the prednisone is what helped me. Not, I wouldn't say that for everybody, but the fact that you are in remission, and you seem to still be doing well despite these other things, I think that would be a great idea for you to start journaling, hey, a format of how you want to, go towards this goal possibly of teaching, because again, it's needed. It's needed. So I think that would be a really good idea, for you to look into. So what would be your absolute best, in fact, advice if you were right now, you had a few potential students, that were saying, yeah, well, I'd love to get with you on this and self and betterment of my body. And what would you kind of say? How would you kind of do? You may not be able to think of this right away, so it's okay if you can't, but kind of like a little kickoff intro of just what you would kind of say to them in the beginning at your very first meeting. Advice,
They were sick, or if they were just
Well, yeah, if they were just coming, yeah, if they were in the beginnings of maybe saying, hey, I think I might have something, they're still testing, but something's not looking right. So I heard that you kind of mentor people or whatever, you know what I mean? Or in just from a sense of your best advice to anyone
yeah.
based on everything you've experienced.
If anybody came up to me and let's say they were sick, or they felt that they were possibly sick or something, and they were in the gym working out and training hard and stuff like that, I would actually my first thing would be to tell them to back off a little bit on the exercising, because when you work out, obviously and that actually produces more protein to break down in the kidneys, makes your kidneys work harder. So I believe I said that right. And then the supplements are, you got to get off the supplements, and then I would just say start eating clean. You get all the test results, but still go to the gym, continue exercising. Just don't go like a beast mode or nothing like that, and just get off these supplements, because we don't know what causes mine, and I think the supplements are just a bad thing because you don't know what's inside them, and not that FDA is the greatest, because prednisone's FDA approved. So I would say, get off all that stuff, start eating a little bit lighter, bring your protein intake down a little bit until you get the results, continue what you're doing. And then for the healthy people that were asking, obviously I just train them like I would have trained anybody else. I just see what their eating habits are, their exercise program is, and maybe switch up the regimen, explain to them certain things on the reason why we exercise, do concentric, eccentric movements, power movements, so forth like that. It's a little hard to say because everybody will be so different. Everyone's going to be different. And just like you said a while back, prednisone, you denied it, but you don't recognize, you don't say that for everybody, because some people, the prednisone works fine.
Absolutely.
It worked good for them.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, it didn't work. It helped me, but I'm paying for what I had to catch up to. And that's what goes back to saying change one thing in my life is I wish I continued to go and get a physical checkup. So that's the same people, but if they were healthy, that came to me, I say, hey, make sure you're getting your checkups.
There you go.
Check off that stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, because you're absolutely right. That's it right there. Don't let your physical appearance, if being, even if it's great or at whatever someone considers perfect with their body, don't let that cause you to think that I don't need to go to the doctor. Some people like that saying, why fix what's not broken? You have to, especially after a certain age. I would definitely say that when you reach a certain age, you just really, and then in today's day and age, especially, now we're in a pandemic. So, this is a devastating thing we got going on here with this. Is killing people. So really, everybody needs to really keep check on their health more, as well as even their children, their teenagers, and things like that. Making sure they get regular checkups. Like I said, it's just at a critical point, so that these things can be caught. Yeah, hopefully, if there's anything there, that it can be caught ahead of time. Hey, Jared, could you put that? Someone said something to you. I didn't catch the whole thing. Oh, is that a friend, Derek Hagan? Shout out to you from the garage. Your wife, you said you look cute. I love it.
You're in my garage right now.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. So, what'd you say?
I said that my brother-in-law.
Oh, okay. That's your brother-in-law.
Downstairs. They don't want to.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I know that, and that's my one more question I wanted to ask. How did it affect the family? Because our illnesses affect our families too. What type of effect did it have on the kids and your girl and everything?
Well, what's funny is, it's not funny, but I just met Rita, and then about a year later, I had these issues, and she, any other typical girl probably would have just bolted on it. But she stuck with me, and she's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
Taking all the time off of work and taking me to the hospital, waiting there constantly. I mean, surgery after surgery, it takes a toll on her. Plus, my attitude and everything was bad.
Mm-hmm.
Just really changed me. And no matter how hard you fight it, you can't. And she put up with it. And that's, like I said, anyone else would have taken off. She stuck by my side. As for my brothers and my parents, everybody was shocked because, and nobody understood it, you know.
Yeah.
So we were all in it together as like, okay, why? Or what's going on? What do we need to do? And so my parents were doing research, I'm doing research, and then, I'm finding out. That's another thing too. My doctor actually prescribed me no computer for a month because I was stressing myself out because I was reading other people's problems and thinking that I was getting their stuff before it even happened to me. So like I would read somebody that said, "Oh yeah, I went into dialysis. I had 3 transplants. I'm failing all." I mean, I'm like, "Oh my god, here I'm going to be the same thing." I'm going to go path. And then I go ask my doctor, I'm like, "Hey, do I got this? Do I have this?" And he's like, "You need to chill out." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
my parents said the same thing too.
Yeah.
The day that I became in remission, I called my mom and I was just crying like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So she had me, and of course, and it almost felt like it was over, but it was just another new beginning, is what it was.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it sort of like took some weight off the shoulders, and it's like finally, I got there, after the years, and then here we are today, just trying to stay strong because I wake up one day and I still got something going on that nobody knows about. And then I go to the doctor and then they're like, "Hey, you got to get this surgery." I'm like, "All right, let's do it."
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My veins are so collapsed from all the needles. It's ridiculous. I mean, they're going on this side now instead of my hand and they can't even find veins anymore because of edema and so forth. So, but like I said, the family, everybody was shocked. And I pretty much, like I said, I didn't tell anybody or nothing. And I didn't want to. I didn't want to drag anybody into it or nothing. It was my battle and my family, of course. And I knew that I could do it with the support of, I had the support that I needed. Let's just
Okay.
it was what I needed. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. If I would have known there was more people out there with the disease, I'm sure I would have had more support that I could have used. Like I said, that I could help somebody. Somebody could have helped me at the time. Say, "Hey, chill out," or "Hey, you're not going to have this." Have hope and stuff. When it was all brand new, I didn't know anybody had anything. The percentages are so low, like I said. So, that's why I would be different too. Is like I would tell people, go out there and look it up and have other people talk to. Just don't go crazy thinking that you're gonna be on the same path as that person or something that's gonna happen to you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you do have to be really careful with that, especially early on in an illness, because it's new and you're going through so many not only physical stages but emotional, and you can easily get the wrong information. Maybe not so much wrong, but a little exaggerated. And everyone is not a positive person, so you have to be careful about that too. So I couldn't have agreed with. I'm so glad that your doctor told you that, because these things are going to affect all of us differently, because all of our bodies are different. Some things hold true to some levels, but that's why it's so critical to get with the right group. like Urban Outreach Health Media, like our organization. I mean, well, we have some great people, and that have walked the walk, and and we talk the talk, and so we do our homework. We are survivors. Several of us. So there is no greater knowledge than that of a survivor, somebody who's been through it. And then there are other organizations out there as well, Anthony, on Facebook, with other pages of recipients. So it's out there. The information is out there. But like I said, everybody is not a positive person. Some people have a propensity to be negative. Everybody can't handle what they have.
That's what it seemed like I found.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Every time I looked up something, it was always something negative. It wasn't a positive thing, and that just tumbled me down. I mean, I was like,
yeah, exactly. And and so that is why it's just really important to just stay focused on your healing, focus on a goal for yourself to really continue to seek God and say, what you put me in this place, and it's for a reason. Now where do I go from here? There's a lesson in it for you. There was a lesson in it for me, and this is where I'm at right now. Let's see. I'm sorry. Is that Leslie Sweet? I saw your struggle. I saw your strength. You're a survivor. Yeah. You got your support base, and that's good. And kudos to Rita. She's a wonderful woman, because, like you said, not many people will run. That's okay. I see your nice big cat right there. People will run from sickness. I think it scares a lot of people. So,
I was scared.
Yeah, of course. So,
And
yeah,
I didn't want to admit it either, but
Well, I thank you so much, Anthony. We're a little over an hour, but this has been great. Wow, you've shared some wonderful information, and I want you to keep, in touch with me, so that we can, stay in this together. And if there's anything I can do to help you or encourage you, or we can, work on together, this is what we do. Absolutely. This is why we're here, and so I think you're going to do great, because you have the right mindset. You're going to be fine, and you have a really good support base. And so what I always end my show with is I select a scripture for each of my guests. I kind of pray about what I feel God is putting on my heart to share with you, and that may remind me of what you're dealing with. And so the scripture I chose was from the book of Psalms, chapter 41:3, which is, the Lord will sustain and strengthen him on his sick bed. In his illness, he will restore you to health. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's strengthening you. He's restoring you to health. And he's going to use you to do some great things for some people out there. I have no doubt about that. And so I just want to, and continue to encourage each other. And Rita as well. Thank you. She's a wonderful person. It seems like she's got your back. And so you'll be blessed, and like I said, keep on that goal, which of what you may be able to do with fighting FSGS. I can't wait to see, have you back on to tell us how that's expanded when it happens.
You know what? That would be great. I'd love it, and we would definitely stay in touch.
Okay.
So there's no question about that, and I appreciate everything,
my friend. Yeah, and be careful out there in that cold weather. I know it's snowy a lot, so be careful and don't fall.
Well, try not to enjoy the beach too much, okay?
I'll try. I can't promise. I'll try. All right. Well, thank you, friends, so much. And you have a wonderful night. Okay. Take care. All right. Wow. What a great story. What a great guy. and so humble. I think oftentimes we think when guys are into that, they're like, what you want? All tough, but he's just so humble and grateful. And, again, I think the best advice, again, one of the pieces of advice he gave was just to be proactive, everybody, in your body. You're testing. You got to do that. You got to do that. That's the only way we're going to beat diabetes, hypertension, kidney disease, not to mention all the other things that can come along with it if we allow it to get out of control, right? So I want everybody to have a wonderful and blessed night. And I will see you back here week after next on Sisters Against Kidney Disease. I love you guys. Jesus loves you, and ain't nothing you can do about it. Have a good night. Bye.